am a clown, and I take that very seriously.
Turn this song off in 3 minutes. Pop, 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 crack, crack, pop.
Stuff is killing, but in 10 years, will it still feel insightful and fresh? Like,
yeah. There's a documentary I need you to watch immediately.
I know that you guys laughed, and if anyone says this isn't good, they're judging you.
No! Should we just get in the van with that guy? I feel like that was good.
Whitney Cummings' Netflix special Jokes is so awful, I seriously contemplated divorcing my wife for suggesting we watch it. I watched it not because I'm a good husband, but because my time is money, and I knew I could make a video reviewing it. But after watching it, I don't even want to do a review. I just want to take a fifth of Jack and a bottle of aspirin and slowly fade away into darkness. I have lost so much faith in humanity that I'm considering buying Crocs and starting a Book of the Month club. I have to make this video though because I feel it's the only thing outside of years of counseling that could possibly free me from this blood-sucking golem of a special that I allowed my wife to let enter my home.
Get in there nice and deep like.
Whitney Cummings is a smart, attractive, and hardworking person, but she is no comedian. Despite her not being funny, she has managed to create a very impressive resume on IMDb. Since 2004, she has appeared in or received a credit in over 60 films and TV shows, and in only 4 years, her YouTube channel has racked up over 65 million views. The top content on the channel can also sum up her career as a comedian, as well as the decay of Western society. The intro to this video may seem like I pieced it together from the worst parts of her special, but nay. Minus the Joe Rogan excerpts, it is the actual trailer to her special, Jokes.
Whitney Cummings!
Boom! Yeah. There's a documentary I need you to watch immediately. Why are you complaining about this miracle in your living room? Turn this song off in 3 minutes. Pop, 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 crack, crack, pop. Daddy, 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 daddy. They don't deserve to see this V-neck and this. That is a move that's illegal in the NFL. I would like a Big Beaver magazine, please. I paid 74 nickels for this. We put it on our face. We can plie down to the spelling bee. I'm on the moon. It's like 2 crocodile eyes coming out of a pond. It's dark. No. Should we just get in the van with that guy? I feel like that was good. Can I have my ring, please? She doesn't get it.
You would think that someone that has been in the industry as long as Cummings has would know that this is a terrible trailer. If this were created prior to 2001, there is no doubt in my mind that soldiers would have used this as an interrogation torture tool at Guantanamo Bay. It's almost as if the person that put the trailer together was playing a joke and created this as a what not to do when creating a comedy special trailer. It's so bad that it has a 1:7 like to dislike ratio and is nearing 7,000 total dislikes. This is posted to Cummings' YouTube page, which means most of the interactions are from her subscribers. Most of the jokes are outdated or have no actual punchline, but instead rely on physical humor. But there is nothing funny about physical humor unless you're this guy. The outdated jokes include tags like, "When I was a kid," and "Am I right, ladies?" She even tries to get canceled by doing an R. Kelly and Michael Jackson joke, but she is only about 16 years too late. There is one point where she writhes on the floor, literally making animal noises. The last half hour was lazy comedy, and it felt like she was just throwing words at a wall so she could reach the full hour mark. At this point in the special, my wife apologized to me for stealing a half hour of my life, but instead of turning it off, I, like any good spouse would do, made her finish it with me and then pray for forgiveness. Because there's nothing funnier than a middle-aged woman explaining a sport and trying to turn it into a joke.
That is a move that's illegal in the NFL.
Yes, a lot of the stuff we do as humans is dumb when you break it down, but it's not funny. It's lazy. You can make that joke about anything. Isn't NASCAR dumb? Isn't it dumb to walk down the road? Am I right, ladies? If this was her first special, I would give her leeway, but she has been in the industry for nearly 20 years now, and she thought this was the best work she has done.
The stuff is killing, but in 10 years, will it still feel insightful and fresh?
Funny is funny. A good comedian only needs a microphone. CK, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle are all funny because you can listen to them while driving down the road. Their words, and the tone those words are delivered in, are what make them great. You can't do that with this special. What people want to see from their comedians is honesty. That's why people like Shane Gillis. They don't agree with what he has to say a lot of the time, but the delivery of his material shows that he doesn't agree with it either, but he is being honest about his thoughts, even to the point of making fun of himself, something Cummings can't do.
I know that you guys laughed. And if anyone says this isn't good, they're judging you.
This comes off as, people laughed when I was touring, so if you don't laugh, it's your fault. Not to mention, if you didn't hear, it's tough being a woman in comedy. This is an outdated and out-of-touch statement, especially coming from someone who has had over 60 jobs in front of or behind the camera. Someone is giving her those jobs, and it's not because she's funny. She's obviously getting these roles because of another reason, but no person is keeping her from getting a job because she is a woman. I think it's the opposite. She tried the same line on Tim Dillon, but he, unlike Rogan, still shares his actual opinion.
They're so on the same page all the time. We had like a real fight. Like we both went into our inner child.
I think, well, I said, I think the only thing I said that was even slightly, was I said, it's not Two Broke Girls, it's a podcast. And you got very angry at that. It was such a light touch of a thing. And you got very angry.
I lost my temper. It doesn't happen a lot.
And I was just, it was a fun little thing to say.
It was, no, but it wasn't like, because it fascinates me when comedians, because we're so rough with each other, when you go too far. Like when someone crosses the line. I didn't know that was good. There's always going to be this unspoken thing between old Hollywood and young Hollywood. And that's what's happening here. And I'm old Hollywood. Yeah, you're a legend. By the way, you're not any Hollywood. You're young internet. You've never been Hollywood. But that is Hollywood. No, it's young internet. No, but that is Hollywood still exists. No, no one cares about your friends like Sandra Bullock. No one cares about them. I'm just saying. No one cares. The thing where she wore the blindfold in the canoe got 50 million views. What was that, 4 years ago? I'm just saying. Bird Box? You're bringing out Bird Box? The horror movie on Netflix? I mean, this is what you're... But here's the difference. What about Perfect Strangers? That was fun, too. You guys... I'm 17 years old. I'm a 17-year-old TikToker. I evolve. Why do you want to be the future Kevin Spacey? Stop hanging out with these young people, Tim. I am trying to protect you from the future cancellation. I understand you, and I respect that. I try too hard with the podcast, don't I? You put a lot into it, and that's okay. Too much. That's okay. I overthink it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm good at podcasting. That's the other thing. I think you are, but it's a very different thing. Like you have celebrities on and you prepare and you do all this stuff, and I respect that. But it's like what we do. It's just a little different. Because I'm insecure, Tim. I don't have the white man thing of I'm just like, who wouldn't want to hear me talk for 3 hours about anything? Like I don't. Right. I'm not allowed to be boring. I have to be twice as good to get half as much respect. Okay. You disagree? Maybe. Well, how so? I don't know. You have to be twice as good. I mean, to get half as much respect. I just mean, you guys. Is that a line from like a country song? You guys can definitely working 9 to 5. Nobody listening because I'm a woman. Is that true? I'm just saying. Think about it. I was thinking about this the other day because I was like, how long am I going to do this podcast? Is there any proof in history that people want to listen to women talk for 3 hours a week? Is it always their fault? Is it always the people's fault? Has there ever been a famous female radio host? Terry Gross? Like who? I mean, I'm trying to think. Women aren't famous for their soothing voices. Well, what about half the country that are women that are not listening to those women?
This is clearly victim mentality. Saying that you're ridiculed in your career just for being a woman may be the case for a lot of people, but it's preposterous to say when you have had a 20-year career, even though you are not funny. It's the one requirement as a comedian. I am not biased towards male or female comedians. Kristen Wiig is a top 10 favorite of mine. Amy Poehler is hilarious. I would divorce my wife for Kate McKinnon based solely on how hilarious she is. And the craziest part of all of this, it's her 5th special. She has made 4 other specials, and I for one will not be doing a review of any of them because I value my mental stability, or at least what is left of it after watching this. She is clearly out of touch and stuck in the days prior to the pandemic. Old Hollywood mentality. It seems like she saw all of these comedians transitioning to YouTube, and instead of thinking it through, she dove right in, tried to capitalize while the iron was hot. But instead, like Brendan Schaub, she got ahead of herself, compiled the best she could into one terrible special. She did and is doing the same thing with her podcast. It's a mix between Joe Rogan with the preparation of a Tonight Show. Instead of having guests that will get views, she is choosing guests that nobody cares about, much like her jokes. Her most recent episodes aren't reaching over 100,000 views. Not even Dave Attell can help. It's like there's nothing to protect you. You know, like if you're on a show, you can be like, you know, it's a little bit like you can blame, like as well as you can blame other people. Podcasts, you take all the blame. Yeah. And I just am so
afraid of the internet because they turn on people so fast.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like sometimes people's fan bases turn on them, you know?
Well, there's nothing you can do about that. People can say whatever they want about you, and people, can turn on you or can like you, and it's, But at the end of the day,
is this sustainable?
Networks,
is this all sustainable?
Are networks sustainable? Do you think they can't turn on you? You think Netflix can't turn on you? You think, how many instances have we seen?
Well, no, Hollywood is forgiving to a fault. You can fail for so many times in Hollywood, and they will keep writing you checks.
It's clear she is worried about her self-image, but in comedy you have to drop the ego. You can't care what people think of you, which brings me back to my point of comedy fans liking comics that are humble and honest. When you put someone on stage, regardless of their appearance or tone, people can see right through them. I don't think there is any way she can redeem herself. This was her 5th special, and regardless of what IMDb says, I think it should be rated lower than Gringo Poppy. At least it was only 30 minutes of torture. If this is truly the best work that she can put together, then she should really consider finding a new career. It feels like she showed up during a time when there was a dire need for a female comedian. Amy Schumer showed up around the same time in the mid-thousands, but as awful as she was, at least she had the decency to hang it up and spare us from more bad comedy.
You worked your ass off, but you also were like a chosen person. Yeah. You got chosen. Now, you worked for it, but you got to realize you were a handful of people that were chosen. It's like that's kind of what it is. Now, you worked your ass off for it, but at the end of the day, it's like, if you're not chosen, I went out with a pilot, didn't work. I went out, had Adam McKay producing something.
Because you didn't have me involved.
Didn't work. Maybe that's the case. How many times am I supposed to go through that? 15, 20, 30? Or am I and live on the street while I do that? Like, why would I do that when I have all the means to entertain people at my disposal?
But you don't want to act, or you just don't want to.
We all do, but it's not possible.
I can't believe I wasted hours of my life watching this and making this video. If you're still hanging on, I appreciate you, and I ask that you subscribe so I can make more videos, but not about Whitney Cummings.
There's you there!